I have heard national news, the transportation that are supposed to take people from St. Vincent to wherever are not requiring them to get any vaccination shot. And this tactics, what you're doing is playing with people's life. You cannot put people who are under pressure. You cannot mandate people who are under pressure and have to decide between life and death. A volcano is happening, okay, in the north, and you're saying to them that they can't get on a certain boat or to be transported wherever they need to go because they need to take the COVID vaccine shot. That is not the most important thing right now. And if you're going to allow people to take a vaccine shot, they need to be informed so they could make informed decisions, not forced decisions. Not because I need to go to save my life and I'm in a crisis and therefore I'm choosing between taking a vaccine than going on a boat to save my family, right? And you here bombarding me with political tactics. This is not the time for that. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is in a crisis. And when you're in a crisis mode, you need to operate like in a crisis mode, right? You need to engage who you're talking with, right? There need to be a plan. What is the plan? What is the assessment? You assess the issue. Okay, this is what's happening. And months before, you know of this happening. You know that the volcano was going to be erupted. You know, you've talked to people. You know, your government, you know, St. Vincent government right now, you know, okay, that this was going to take place. So it is appalling. It is disgraceful. When I see my family sitting in a shelter today and the shelter has nothing, no water, no food, right? At least the basics, no bed, no cot, nothing. You can't tell me, okay, that a government who has been monitoring this volcano for however long is going to spring into action the day the volcano erupts. No, that is not leadership. And you don't have people who don't have sense. Okay, the people of St. Vincent know how it is to be treated properly. I must say, however, I must thank the countries, okay, who has offered to accept our people in this time of crisis. Now I feel like crying, right? For the OECS countries and the Caribbean countries who decide this, Antigua, St. Lucia, Grenada, and whoever else, I want to say thank you personally as a patroness of St. Vincent and the Grenadines that you're able to take our people. But even from those people's standpoint, I listened to their mitigation plan today. They are not requiring that Vincentians should take any vaccination to get on any boat or to get on any transportation to leave the country. The government of St. Vincent, what you're doing is wrong. And I have supported you. I have supported you as the man of the hour, but my people, them needs to be saved. The volcano has erupted and is still very active right now. Sulfur and everything is all over the place. There are elderly people. There are people who are most vulnerable. Okay, who can't inhale those sulfur? Who can't breathe through what is happening in the air right now? People need to be evacuated and they do not need to be penalized because of a vaccination. What you're doing is wickedness. If people want to take vaccination, let them decide for themselves. But do not put them in a life and death situation and say, listen, it's either you go on the boat or you take the vaccination. That is not what this is. This is a crisis. We can't afford to be playing these political games. I understand that countries they talk clearly. I listened to the broadcast with Grenada and their mitigation plan and how they're trying to protect their borders, how they're trying to make sure that people get tested. Not one time I heard of e-vaccination, that they need vaccination to get on a ship or a vessel to leave St. Vincent. The government of St. Vincent, this is appalling. It is murderous. What you're doing is putting people, giving them a knife and say, kill yourself or else you can't go. This needs to stop and the world needs to know what you're doing. And I don't care because I'm fighting for my people. If no one else is going to talk about the nonsense that is happening, I will say something. Okay? I saw my family members today. I had to go hunt them down to know where they were at. No food all day. You guys have had months. You cannot prepare the night before. This is not acceptable. You had months. Things in December, January, February, March, and you're going to tell me that there was no water. If you're going to put a list of shelters and places for people to go, it is not just a list. It is not just a name. It is this shelter here needs water, needs food, need some kind of snack. You have children running up and down all day. You're going to tell me, right, that people are prepping. Yes, but you come into them tonight and to leave, because this whole mitigation and leaving process happened within hours. People did not even have time to catch themselves. Kingston alone was jam-packed. People had to close their stores because it was just too much, right? And all of this happening in a space of hours, right? So people naturally did not have the means to get all that they need to get. So then it left to the government to suffice. If you're going to have shelters, you needed to have people or provision in place so that the people can be at least a little bit comfortable. This is COVID, and I was at the church and there was no COVID protocols, right? No COVID, and I'm talking about the Diamond Deliverance Assembly Church of God in Diamond, St.Vincent. Those poor church members had to pull themselves together and do whatever little they can with whatever little they have. And it is a crying shame. It is a crying shame because this is a time of crisis. And in a time of crisis, you put all political views aside and you deal with the people. And it's not some people. And I hope to goodness that I won't be hearing that the United Labour Party folks had whatever they need to have in shelter, and the NDP or the yellow people, I call them the yellow people, I don't even know what the proper, please forgive me, right? Didn't have what they needed. I hope that is not the case at all. I hope indeed you are the man for the people and not the man for some people. Okay, because I am hurting. When I see my family members all without food because we couldn't find them. We had to go look for them. I spent my entire day looking for people. Okay, making sure my mother and her people are okay. All right? And you're going to come tell me they're in a shelter. You can't wait till today, in hours, to go prepare for shelter. That's ridiculous. You had months. You had months and weeks to prepare. Okay? And I'm calling shame on you. I'm not even ungrateful. I'm grateful for the countries who decide to take the Vincentian in to rescue, okay? And they themselves know that this is a crisis, and they're not asking for no vaccination certificate. So how dare you? How dare you force my people, okay, to take a vaccine that they're not educated about? If people are going to take a vaccine, they need to be informed about the vaccine. You understand? And I'm sure many of them will take the vaccine, but you don't force their hand. How can you force their hand? This is life and death. People need to get to safety so they could take care of families. And then for those who you don't care about, you drop them to the wayside, put them in places where there's no supplies for them. You have young children. You have mothers with suckling babies. 60-something person was at the church today, and they was there all day without food. I had to go find my family, separate them. My mom take half of them, and I take the rest of them and feed them. While you there talking about you're mitigating and you're doing this and you're doing that. Again, I am not ungrateful. I understand what it takes to pull a nation together. I understand in a time of crisis that all the T's don't cross and all the dots, the I's don't dot when we need to dot them. I understand. My education has been in clinical social work and community and international development with a doctorate in public health. So I know it. I know how much pressure people go under when in the midst of crisis. But at the same time, you have to be strategic. You can't come haphazard. You know, and I know you've received aid. You've received money and you received supply from foreigners to help Vincentian. So they can't be on the floor, sleeping on the ground, with their sheet cover up, or no cut. I mean, this is COVID-19 time. There's no COVID protocols, right? There's no hand sanitizers. I didn't see any. There was no hand sanitizers. There's no place to wash hands. There was one bathroom. The church had whatever bathroom they had. That's what they were using. All of that is unacceptable. I am not going to stand for it. And if we can't be the voice, and Vincentian may be afraid to speak, but I'm not. When I see my family in the state that they were in today, it was appalling. Okay? And my message is done. I'm saying to Ralph and his administrative staff, you cannot have people in shelters where there is no food, no water. And to not have food and water is unacceptable because you had months, you had weeks to prepare, okay? And to wait till the 9th hour, okay? To wait till the 9th hour to start, even right now, there are places with no supplies. You understand? When people are running, they're running with them, like my niece here, my cousin here, and I call her, I'm laughing because I'm remembering a story of about a Haitian friend that I have. I always have to call her name because she was just so strategic, so smart. She have a baby, so she knows she need pampers, she need water, but she can't come with everything. You understand? So she had the basic for herself. And even that, it wasn't even for her, it was for her child. And she stayed all day with her food. No food, nobody came by to see how they were doing. Okay, nobody went in to ask what was happening with them all day. No food, no water. And that Diamond Deliverance Assembly Church of God in Diamond, St.Vincent is not the only shelter. And I hope you guys are not treating that pastor and that church unfairly because he's not a United Labor person, right? And I hope this is not political because I'm calling you out. Somebody need to be in Diamond Deliverance right now. They need water, they need food, and they need portable toilets. Okay, and they need bed. If you can't find bed, they need cots. They need something to sleep on tonight. Okay, they can't sleep on that cold floor. I know this is crisis. This is not 1979 when we didn't know any better. We're in the age of technology, and we've been not only viewing but monitoring that volcano. You've spent money on people coming from wherever to make sure when they tell you something about a volcano, it is accurate, which means you had time. You had time to prepare. You had time to get your teams together. But like all else, we play games with people's lives because you don't care about your people, right? The money can't go in the administrator and pocket, and I hope there's an accountability as to how that money and how those materials in kinds are being distributed and to whom that they are being distributed to. And I hope it is to the Vincentian people. You understand? We can't be in crisis. And you're talking that folks need to be vaccinated before they get on a plane or before they get on a boat. When the truth of the matter is those who are accepted had never stated that they need any kind of vaccination. You cannot put people's life at risk and force people to take a vaccine that you are about. Give people, it is okay to be a leader who don't dictate, but give people the information they need so that they could make informed decisions. That's it. My people need help. And if my cousin was in a shelter on the ground all day, no food to eat, no water, other than the water that she had for her child, one bathroom for 60-something people, listen, and that was a small group. There are many other shelters with so many other people. You understand? So I need for you to go do something, Ralph, you and the administration. Okay? If no one else is going to talk, I will speak because I'm speaking for my people. Right? Somebody has to be the voice. There are people with intelligence. There are people who understand the political tactics and the games that you play. Do not play with people's lives. It is on national news that they don't require any vaccination for them to get on the boat, and that is up to the government of St. Vincent. So when you come and say people have to be vaccinated, it is not their requirement. This is yours. You can't do that with people's lives. And I done speak. Good night and happy Sabbath. And Ralph, if you need help, I will help you. You call me and I will help you. I have a team of people here who's ready. We are already doing it on our own. We are out there making sure that those churches are dropping off water as we can and making sure people are together. But you need to do your part. Okay? It is all of us in it. It is not you. It is not me. All of us are in it together. And you gotta believe I am going to do my part to make sure that we are okay. Again, I want to say thank you to those CARICOM islands who put out, it is a dangerous time. And you putting your neck on the block for us, and I want to say thank you. Thank you to St. Lucia. Thank you to Antigua. Thank you to Barbados. Thank you to Grenada. And for whoever else, for Guyana, for whoever else is helping our country. Thank you very much. Okay? But folks, please know that our government is asking people to take vaccination before they get on a boat. Right? When countries already have their mitigation process and the COVID protocol in line. I understand that vaccine is important. I understand that certain amount of people need to be vaccinated. But I also understand that people need information to make informed decisions. People need to know what they're doing and how they're doing and why they're doing it. And that should not be under pressure. It is already psychological and traumatic for folks in this time of crisis. For the government to subject them, that is so disrespectful, so inhumane. For the government to subject them to take vaccination before they could get on a boat to go wherever they want to go. That is not who we are. That is not how you run a country. A leader who runs a country don't know it all, right? And a leader who runs a country are not afraid to ask, how can I do better, right? Our people needs to be out of here. Our people need to be on a boat. This smoke and this ash is no joke, okay? Tomorrow morning when we wake up, it's going to be even worse. There's already ashes on the ground outside. I don't know what I'm seeing, if it's lightning flashing or if it's the volcano still spitting fire or whatever it is. I am not the scientist. I don't know. But it's a very dangerous and scary and traumatic and psychological time for the people of St. Vincent. The people of St. Vincent, again, this is my message clearly. I've done rant and I've done rage. The people of St. Vincent, clearly my message is that the shelters need to be appropriate. The shelters need to have at least the basics. The shelters need not just a policeman sitting and watching people. The shelters need nurses and doctors, okay? And teachers and counselors. This is traumatic. It is psychological. They need food and they need water. They need toiletries, they need whatever else. They need bed to sleep tonight and or a cot. I understand that we can't have matches for everybody, but at least they could have a cot to sleep on, right? So then that's what they need. And they don't need to be put before them this life and death situation. You either choose a vaccine or you choose death. That is wickedness. That is a dictatorship that produces whatever else I don't even want to call. Okay, let the people of St. Vincent go. Let the people of St. Vincent be on that boat. Let them use proper protocol, put on their mask. I mean, get them tested or whatever it is that you do to make sure, but do not force the people of St. Vincent to take a vaccine where they're not informed. I mean, this vaccine goes on to end other many issues, but I ain't why I come here tonight for. I ain't going to talk about the police. I'm not going to talk about the teacher's salary that you refuse to give their salary. Or refuse them on school campus if they refuse to take the vaccine. That is not my discussion tonight. My discussion is, and started from the pain I felt tonight when I saw my family held all day, because they would have been they came down last night, would have been all day. Nobody came to check on them. Nobody came to visit them. They needed food and water. People were sleeping on the ground. I am upset. So I am the voice of the people. They are my people. I'm the one who feel pain for them. When I see that, I'm thinking, what the craziness? You, Prime Minister, is on news crying tears. I don't know why you're crying, because listen, I'm not about that, because this is very traumatic for everybody. But I hope you really think, considering the people who are out there, right? And I don't want them to suffer. So this is why I'm having my voice. This is why I'm speaking. I am speaking because I do not want my Vincentian people to suffer anymore. It is a time of crisis. Okay, I'm here with my family, and we have to go and take in people from the outside, because what we saw today was appalling. People sleeping on floor. People don't have no food to eat. No one from the government and the mitigation team ever came by today to check on them. All that was there was a police girl that was sitting there from morning till about 7 o'clock tonight, right? Our people needs to be out of here so they can get to safety as fast as they can and as easy and smoothly as possible. They do not need to be bombarded with vaccine. Okay, they don't need to be bombarded with whether I take vaccine, and if I don't take the vaccine, I'm not going to get on this boat. That is not what we need right now. Okay, the folks that they're going to are preparing for them. Okay, people need to get out of here. The government of St. Vincent and Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, you've been my guy. I have been supportive of you. Okay, up until now, I am not pleased of what I see. You cannot have people in shelters with no food and no water and no toiletries, or no even restroom for them to help themselves. Okay, you cannot have people in shelters with no cots to sleep on or no beds. I understand we can't all have mattress or mattresses. I get it, but the least you can do is give them a blanket and a cot. And I'm sure you have many of those things in stores, because you've been preparing for this mentally, I hope, right? And people have been selling aid to St. Vincent, right? And I to God hope that this is not going to be a political riot. That those who supported the United Labour Party are the ones who get the help first. And those who do not suffer, I hope that is not so. Again, I'm going to call the church to you. It is the Diamond Deliverance Assembly Church in Diamond, St. Vincent. I don't know of the others, but I know for sure because I was there today. I could only talk of what I see. You understand? Those people need help. You need to go and you need to help those people. Give them the basics. And those people who need to get out of here do not need to be, okay? Stop in their tracks because they ain't going to take a vaccine or they can't get on the boat. It is ridiculous. It is crisis. I want you to know the world is watching. And there are people here who have voices and they will talk, okay? I respect you. I respect your administration. But right about now, I can't. Somebody have to be the voice of the people. I get it. It's a rough job, right? But no. You should have had this in place already since 3 months ago. And when that man yesterday, like you even just said that happened, when he said that, listen, it's time for them to evacuate, then your team need to be dispersed in all these shelters and making sure that these shelters have what they need so that people can be at least a little bit comfortable. Good night. God bless you. I'm done.